It is morning huddle time. Welcome back. It is fall of 2025. I'm losing my mind. I'm very excited to be here. Stacy, how are you?
Doing good. How was your summer?
My summer was amazing.
What,
Yeah,
you
I
went
had
to
a great time.
Ireland?
Went to Ireland, had a great time with the family, spent like almost 2 weeks running away from the heat, and it worked out beautifully. And yeah, that was the summer vacation, and the rest of summer has been grinding. I've got a couple of people on my team, 3 guys on my team have been out on parental
I saw you
leave.
hired some new folks.
Yes, well, we needed them because I've got 3 guys out on who've literally 3 people are having babies this summer, and 2 have been born, and another one's coming, and so I'm catching a little extra weight. Heartness is I'm sorry. What is it? The heart has grown fonder due to their, being away. I'm realizing just how incredibly important they are to my organization.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for them to get back. So that's what's
my
going on
brother
in my
just
world.
had a baby the other day. And then my
Is that
other,
right?
yeah, little girl. So I have a new niece, and my other brother just got engaged, and we're going to be heading to Mexico City for the wedding because that's where she's from. So excited for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How cool. What what did you have going on this summer, Stace? Anything cool?
I wrapped up my internship program, did chat CTE stuff, met with clients, did a lot of website and social media work. So stayed pretty busy, but nothing really fun, no
Nothing
trips
really
out.
fun.
Well, other than
Well,
work.
fun work. Fun work. You did fun work. We have our good friend Stjepan here with us.
Yeah.
He was an awesome guest, I guess, 2 years ago, whenever AI was like a thought that we were having. And
So much
at the
has
times,
changed.
he had a full-time gig, and AI was a side hustle. And today, AI is the full gig.
Mhm.
Welcome to our show, Stjepan. It's great to see you.
Thank you so much, both Chad and Stacy. Thank you for this invitation again. I just can't believe how much has changed ever since we spoke last time. I hope your lives have also improved by a lot, but I can just tell you, last time we spoke, I was still in Copenhagen. I
Yeah.
was working a job as an employee until that company laid me off. And then I started my own firm, and you didn't know? Yeah.
I didn't know you were laid off. I thought you just kind of went after the full-time AI hustle.
I mean, there was a lot of that happened. I mean, people can go to my LinkedIn and maybe read the story if they want to hear more about it. But I'm not going to go. I mean, because I like the job, nothing was wrong there. But I guess I might have stepped on some people's toes by maybe doing too much AI back then when it was still a bit of a kind of tricky topic.
You were trying to figure it out. Yeah, I see those stories a lot when people are trying to move in a different direction.
Yeah, it wasn't really the best environment for me to let's say develop myself as I wanted to. But then, I mean, I think, but it was a blessing in disguise because I started my firm. It was really hard. Now it's been a year and a half. I've what I do with AI and AEC, the firm's name. What I do is I create online courses and workshops, and these courses have been I have more than 600 students from 67 countries. I can't even believe how much of a boom happened. I employ 3 people now. Some of those people also have kids. I'm like, what's happened to my life in the last 2 years? Man, this is crazy. So,
my gosh,
yeah,
how
so
amazing! What a cool
And you
story.
moved to LA, right?
Yeah, and I moved to LA from all of the things. So yeah, I've been here for 6 months. It's been a big difference compared to Europe.
Oh, it's about the same, isn't it? No, I thought it was basically
What is the
same.
biggest difference?
Well, public
curious.
Transportation in LA is so easy, right? It's wonderful. It's just like Copenhagen.
Yeah, just there's no bikes, no bikes at all.
At all. 0 bikes in LA. You can't bike on the freeway. It's illegal. Yeah. Yeah. Well, welcome. We're so glad to have you. And not only on our show, but in the U.S. It's awesome that you're here. What a awesome, incredible results. So let's talk really quickly, just for context for our audience. You're the founder of AI in AEC.
Yes.
And talk, 30 seconds. What exactly are you providing with AI in AEC, and who's it aimed at?
So as the name says, it's aimed at architects, engineers, and construction professionals. So anybody in the AEC industry who's either feeling overwhelmed with AI, who doesn't know where to start with AI, who's trying to find, let's say, because you can find general AI knowledge and courses anywhere, like you can go on YouTube and so on, but domain specific stuff that really helps you implement it in your firm, implement it in your work. And what I typically teach on my workshops is like how do you save 12 hours a week, meaning how do you become a lot more productive. So this is what I teach. I've had again, students come from all different sides of the world, all different sides of the AEC, even though probably the majority of them are on the architecture engineering side. But there's a bunch of construction companies too. So yeah. And it's always interesting to hear because I have clients that are either I don't know, doing designing fish farms in Norway, doing vacation homes in South Africa, doing I don't know, skate parks in Namibia. I'm like, the AEC is so complex and so widespread. So it's
cool.
hard to find, AI that can, of course, help everybody. But I think, the courses, their success, I think, tells its own story. So I hope this makes sense.
So one of the things that it is this not just a quick follow-up question. If let's say I already fancied myself as pretty dialed in on AI, right? I'm using it on a daily basis. It is advancing my work. I've quantified savings and my work quality has gone up and things like that. Does your course offer kind of higher level education?
Yeah, so I currently have 2 courses and I'm working on a third one. So the first one is just for that. So let's say a person who wasn't like yourself,
right?
Who's still being confused, still trying to figure it out. Maybe they're too busy with their deadlines and so on.
Sure.
So they would take something like the course called Discovering AI and AEC, and this takes you from 0 to a pretty good a daily user of AI. And then Mastering AI and AEC is something more aimed at people like yourself who are okay, I figured it out. I use ChatGPT every day. I use Copilot, whatever, What's next? What's next? What can I do? So in this course, we have currently probably 30 plus hours of content and material on different AI apps, different AI products, from what you mentioned in the pre-show chat about how do I speed up my RFIs? How do I check my contracts for any mistakes? How do I tag drawings super quickly and put dimensions on them? All of these kinds of automations and stuff and so on. So this is also part of the show. I mean, if people maybe don't want to join the course immediately, but they still want to learn about what I do, they can just go to AI and AEC, and there's something called AI Demo Day. So this is where I invite people, like what you guys do here, founders of AI tools, to present their software. So we have it every Wednesday. It's completely free. And we have all different kinds, from platforms that implement AI, like Autodesk Construction Cloud, how you can, share data and so on, to things like Specbook, that can check your specifications and make proposals based on that, So it's a really wide variety of things that we have seen. So yeah, but that's the second course. The second course has all of that: AI implementation, AI strategy making, AI policy making, and so on and so forth. So
it's awesome. That's awesome. So Stacy, I know you're super passionate about AI and you've been personally applying this in your world. I wonder if you have
Not on his level, not even close. So not even close. I'm on ChatGPT almost every single day and I'm using it for business writing. So definitely, copywriting, anything marketing wise to help my clients. And I'll be teaching a course in December. So that's how I'm using it. But yes, eventually I want to get better with the automations and all that fun stuff and learn a lot about what you're doing so I can tell my clients or industry folks and, have them go over to your courses for that.
Awesome.
The more in-depth stuff.
I think especially if you're going to be teaching ChatGPT, there's so many options that people don't even know about. People think it can search the whole internet, and how does this work? Or difference within AI models, you use ChatGPT 5 and then some people say it sucks and some people say it's amazing. The thing is that you can, ChatGPT 5 is, in essence, it's a big term for so many different models, some of which are stupid and some of which are super amazing, because there's something called reasoning models. But anyway, on that level, everything is like that is in the courses, and I would love to give you access, Stacy. If you don't already have it, I don't know if I gave you that before, but if not, I'll give you access to my course so you can.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
Thank
awesome.
You. So use cases,
go for it.
we talk about that, because I think when you first hear AI, everyone freaks out if they haven't even dabbled into it. So what are some use cases that you find helpful for your clients?
there's a wide variety because, like, again, clients come in all shapes and forms and sizes. So, like, I can tell you like a typical. Okay, I have a case study that I like sharing because this client of mine, like, they're a 250-person interior design firm. So I know it's a bit maybe further away from construction, but a lot of the same processes apply. There's a lot of like the business related processes, emails, proposals, RFIs, and so on.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So these guys worked with me because they were also like very confused. Where do we get started? Who to trust, who not to trust? Because there's all of these like small like companies popping up every week. So they hired me as a consultant, and we managed to save them $4.5 million with AI just by looking at their process and by asking the right questions. So some of the questions that we asked was like, where do you spend the most time? And we asked every single person on their team, where does most time go? And are those processes really necessary? So what you find out then is that, like, for example, in their case, they would design stores, restaurants, diners, whatnot in SketchUp. And then when they would need to model it in Revit, they would model it from scratch. And then I asked them, do you know about Speckle? There's a tool that connects these. They're like, no, what's that? So Speckle is a tool that connects all of this. And basically you can continue your design after SketchUp directly in Revit within 8 seconds. But until that point, they needed 6 to 8 people that spent 8 weeks on a typical project.
My God.
Just that there, like, just with a single piece of information, there's a tool called X that can do Y. We saved them like 2 months per project of work.
That's
just because
incredible.
they had no idea about it.
What was your take? About $1 million out of that, or how much did you get to keep? Right? That's it.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you a word that is gonna make you $4.5 million. All I need is $1 million. Now, when I say the word, you owe me $1 million, right? And it's Speckle. Go ahead. Yeah, that's it. That's unbelievable, dude. I love that. That's and I'm seeing this in my business. One of the biggest practical use cases we're seeing is its ability to consume and parse massive amounts of data and make sense of the data very quickly. To me, the big question is, and always kind of has been in the AEC space, plans are a lot of data, right? And I'm less interested in like, hey, AI, design me something perfect and I'll see you on Thursday, right? But I'm more interested in, here's this design. Can you pull this thing apart and identify coordination issues? Can you identify all the conflicts and clashes and do all of that in just a fraction of the amount of time? I mean, one developer friend of mine told me that they typically spend like $100,000 on clash detection on any given project.
Yeah. My husband does that for a living, so.
Right? And that's just $100,000 on clash detection. Right? Like, oh, holy smokes, and that's what the developer's paying a third party. Has nothing to do with all the contractors that are actually then going through and saying like, well, that clash detection was bullshit. Right. So what do we have coming down the line? Is there technology available right now to look at plans and say your plans are stupid in these 26 ways?
Both yes and no. And just because of the complexity that I explained of the AEC, you have people coming from all different kinds of sides, and no project is the same. I still have yet to see a project that's the same. So that's why it's hard to train an AI to like look at this, because this is the training data that like this is a picture of a dog, and you have like millions of pictures of a dog. When it comes to projects, for some reason, the AC is typically, no, I'm not going to share this. I'm not going to share this. This is my data. This is my client's data, and so on.
Yeah.
So that's why AI startups typically have a bit of a problem, like, even like building something for the AC.
I know.
I speak with them like on a daily basis. But to answer your question, if there's something coming down the line, definitely. On the question of clash detection, I actually just had them recently on AI demo day on my show. The company called WaveTech, and they have a product called Bamrock. You should really check it out. It's automatic MEP clash detection. They automate the boring stuff. So instead of you basically open your Revit and it analyzes, or through Navis works, it analyzes everything MEP clashing with other MEP, like, your cable trays clashing with your ventilation pipes, with heating pipes, and based on the rules you set, like, because you have all of these like millimeters of distance that you need to respect and so on, it fixes it all up. And they demonstrated on that demo, and it was like an hour-long demo. They demonstrated how we save, like, I don't know, 35 hours just live on the call for somebody. So because, you know, like, you can say $100,000, of course there's also like a profit margin there, but it just takes a lot of time, and there's a lot of responsibility that people typically take. So of course, having a machine do this is more efficient, typically cheaper,
Yeah.
and probably a higher quality.
It should be higher quality at the end of the day. You know, it just like GPT is today. Sometimes it's wrong. Sometimes it's dumb. You know,
But
like every now and again.
It's on
Sometimes it
purpose like that.
hallucinates. What's that?
Yeah, it's on purpose like that. That's the nature, because if it was 100% correct, it wouldn't be magical as it is.
Are you serious? You think
I'm serious.
they
Yeah, that's how
intentionally have made it like, hey, from time to time, be stupid?
No. Why you put it like that? It sounds stupid. No, what I mean is the technology, the background technology on how GPTs, you know, generative transformers typically work is based on that. So they have because they're based on statistics, and statistics can be wrong. So they're based on variability. So that's why the magic, you can create all of these essays or write in the Shakespearean style, and it writes in but if you ask it, if you made it 100% correct all of the time, it would say, no, Shakespeare never wrote this. I'm not going to write like that.
Right. Now I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you understand.
Yeah.
You would only get.
It is.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like AI is kind of like the crypto of technology. Now, hear me out. Here's what I mean by that. Like, you know how like a lot of people, me included, are just scared of investing in crypto. Like, just not interested in investing in crypto. Why, Chad? You can see how much money it's making. Because I don't understand how it works, man. Right? I don't understand how it works, and I don't feel comfortable investing in something that I don't know how it works. I feel like AI is kind of still that, and I'm trying to educate myself because I'm like, I need to not be afraid of this stuff. But I feel like AI is kind of like blockchain in that in technology, I understand software. It's code. I get it, right? It's code. Somebody wrote it. It's really, really smart code, very fascinating, well done. But somebody baked that cake. It's code. That's not how AI works. It's like a mind. It's like but I don't know enough about it. I know about as much about it as I know about blockchain, which is still enough to be appropriately scared, I think. So what can you tell us about just any of the fundamentals that might, and listen, I don't want you to run like an AI 101 here, but like if you're talking to somebody like me who's saying like, dude, I don't want to use it because I don't know how it works and I'm afraid it's going to kill me. Right? Like,
okay.
So I'm hearing that. I really am. I'm hearing those kinds of comments from people.
I have two
What would
comments
you
on
say to that?
Yeah, thank you. I have 2 comments on that. First of all, you also deserve yourself a license to my course because that's exactly what
He needs it.
But that's exactly what I teach in the course. People always ask me like, why a course? There's always all of these like weekly news. I'm like, yeah, I put updates out, but the thing is that when you teach fundamentals of how the technology works, that never changes.
Right.
So that's the thing. So, but coming to your crypto example that you might be afraid of investing because you don't understand it. Do you know how telephones work? Do you know how computers work? Like, you know, yes, in theory, like people tell you, it's just a row of zeros and ones popping out to some sensors made out of copper and whatnot. But you're like, really? Do you really know? It's such a complex technology, but you use it every day. You buy a phone every day. You're not afraid to use it, right?
Yeah, people were terrified of electricity. So
exactly, yeah. So what I'm trying to say, I think, is just the novelty of it all. But of course, like if you really wanna like ensure that you're safe, you know, you like don't trust. Like we had that examples with like COVID, and you had a lot of these like, you know, conspiracy theories about the vaccines and whatnot, you know, because people wanted to check for themselves. So if you want to know how that technology works, that's also taught in the course. So I would happily give you access to it. So,
that's great, man. I appreciate it. That's cool.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest, I run into this a lot, right? And one of my very good clients, he is hysterical, wonderful guy. He's not going to be an early adopter on AI. And he says that it was great. He was like, yeah, he goes, you know what? I'm not going to be a pioneer. The pioneers get killed by the Indians. I'm not in. I'll let somebody else get killed by the Indians. I'll come in after and I'll settle, right? I'm more of a settler than a pioneer, right? And I get what he's saying when it comes to AI, but I also think he's missing opportunity see, right, out of that. So where does that come from? Fundamentally, he's afraid. And he's afraid partially because he doesn't know how it works, but also everybody's got this core question of like, can I put my data into this? Is it safe to put my data into? Let's say I want to run a financial model. Let's say I want it to review my plans. Let's say I want to, like, can I plug this information into these systems safely? What's going to happen if I do that? What can you tell our audience about that?
Yeah, thank you. This is a great question. I love this question because it gets asked so often. And I think that, of course, like the fear of AI in this case, but in general, of like anything new, any new technology comes from not knowing. So thank you for asking and wanting to learn. So the thing about data is that I think it's a misunderstanding that people have. So when cloud came around, like in early or a bit like late 2000s, cloud storage and uploading stuff, OneDrive, Google Drive.
Everything came off of our servers. I didn't have a little server room in my office anymore. It disappeared.
Yes. Yep. So people were like, what about my data? Now it's on Microsoft premises. It's on Google's, it's on AWS. Like, what's going to happen to them? The thing is, it's in most of these cases, I mean, of course, I can't speak on everybody's behalf, but in 99.9% of cases, these companies are not stupid. They know that you, as a customer, care about your data. So what they did is that they encrypted all of that. So even though your data, even though we're streaming right now, so this, we don't probably know, I believe Riverside uses AWS as their like servers. So our data is being processed through an AWS service. Not even Amazon can access this and see us talk, because it's encrypted. They don't have the keys to see us. It's only on your side and on my side, and anybody who has the link and can log in. So it's the same thing with AI. Data, like all of these companies, may have used somebody's data in the early stages, but because, like, how many, as I've said in my earlier examples, how many pictures of a dog do you need to create a new dog? You probably don't need more than like 50,000, maybe 100,000. But after that, it becomes kind of like, the changes in like make this pink dog doesn't really like make a difference. So it's the same thing about everything. So what I mean is that once these companies have used somebody's or someone's or public data for training their models, they're content. Like they are, like the models get very limited bonuses of having new data come in. So it's not in their interest to take your data. Okay, I might have like gone maybe a bit too technical here, but what I'm trying to say is that I do believe that some data stealings, so to speak, have happened in the years where nobody was paying attention, like at it. So how do you think that ChatGPT is so magical? Like, because nobody put an eye on it from 2015 to 2020 because nobody talked about AI. They could have done what they wanted to do, I'm not saying they did, but I'm pretty sure that in the years to come, we will see some articles. Hey, we just discovered they did this with it. Not they specifically, but some companies. But it's 2025. It's not 2015 anymore. So what I'm trying to say is that typically, if you decide to work with AI today, with AI companies, in 99% of cases, these companies are not using your data to improve their models, to process it. And you can always control where your data is being processed. So this means, for example, if you take an example of PiveRender, let's say, it's a rendering tool that's probably even better than Lumion, Enscape right now because of the AI features it has. Most of its AI features are locally happening on your device. Only one of them is happening in the cloud, and you can control which cloud where. You just need to talk with your company. So just ask them, hey, where's the AI model based? Is it open source? How can I check it? So the model is pre-trained. It knows what it needs to do, but the input and the output and the location of the processing can be decided by yourself. I hope this makes sense.
It does. Yeah, I get it. And there is, so I kind of feel like most of the contractors, and that's my world. I don't tend to speak with many architects and engineers, right? But most of the contractors that I talk to have anywhere from a serious interest to like a deep commitment to figuring out how to get into AI, which is amazing because these same people just 1 year ago were like, we're not messing with it. And there are definitely still some people who are there, but like that list is getting smaller and smaller where people are like, we're finding ways to use this today. Just because honestly, let's be real, like there's so many things you could do inside that don't touch your data at all, right? Like that you can say, hey, can you tell me the top 50 contractors in this region or whatever, right? Like so many things that you can pull that don't require any potential risk there. But there's a lot of conversation about exactly what you said, is like how many AIs are running offline, essentially just in my systems, and can I just train the AI with my systems and have kind of like a custom AI inside my organization? And how do I build that? Because I don't want the thing that's going to learn and do any of the open source stuff. And I don't want to participate in helping to make any of my competition better. I want my secret sauce to be my secret sauce. How viable is it for a company to build their own AI? And where would they start if they wanted to do that?
What an amazing question, man. These questions just keep coming. Thank you for doing it. No. This is amazing. It's a practical question that I do believe many people have. So let's like answer it step by step. So first of all, how
practical is it to build my own AI?
It's not practical. And is it possible? Yes, but it's going to cost you a lot more. It's the same thing with having your own server versus putting your data in the cloud. It's the same thing. Are you going to have your own premises, your own hardware kits, computers, GPUs, whatever, SSDs, and then like to upgrade them every year? Or are you going to like entrust Microsoft or whoever, like I'm taking Microsoft as an example, but whichever company to do it for you? So it also depends on the size of your firm. Like typically if our firm is like 1,000 people or more, they're like, yeah, I don't mind the expense. I'm going to do it myself. And there are ways to figure it out. Myself can help finding those people who do this kind of stuff, because there's a lot of people that are just like, jumping on the train. So you really need to know like who to trust in the space. But what I wanted to say is that this is my now personal opinion. Do you really want to do that? If it's coming out of your fear of not knowing enough, is it better to spend 2-3 hours really learning this technology and how it works, or spending millions of dollars on like developing your own stuff when you're not a developer? I'm sorry, but you're a contractor. You are in the AEC. Like that's your specialty. That's your God-given gift.
Yeah, but I've got this consultant who's calling me and saying he can come in and he can build my AIs for me, and he can just do that for me. Again, you're saying you can, but the product's going to be super expensive and not as good as what professionals are out there doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this happened with, for example, in this, like last time we spoke, I was in Denmark, and it was still going on, this whole sustainability, like, I wouldn't say like boom, but it was going on for years now, for the last like decade in the AEC. Everybody talks about energy and so on. So I never understood, why are all of these top architectural firms, top engineering firms developing their own software that depends, and I've seen this myself. I've seen it. I've been in these firms. I worked for a huge corporation, 22,000 people. I worked for a big, so 750 people, top architectural firm. So what would happen is that they would develop a software that only that person knows how to use. And that person gets moved, or like, takes a new job at a competitor at another firm for a lot more money typically. And nobody knows how to use the software like anymore. Nobody knows how it's been built. And it's like, yeah, you can put guardrails around it, but it's not really the same, So yeah. I mean, again, in my opinion, I wouldn't do it myself. Again,
yeah,
in my own business, like I'm an AI consultant, AI educator. I'm not like a developer. Like I'm not, or like I'm not a. Why would I do it? Like of course, if I had the unlimited amounts of money, I would still rather spend my own, as I've said, 3 hours of learning about this stuff and ensuring that who I work with online I trust, then spend $3 million and then like, why didn't I spend 3 hours learning
from scratch?
Well, it's just my stance. I'm sorry, but this is what I think.
No, it's cool. I think, and so, all right, now I'm gonna hit you. This is another rough one. Aren't we just teaching the machines to render us useless, man?
Yes, in many cases, yes, we are.
So, it is that wise?
Listen, again, might be a bit of, this might sound controversial, but I believe that regardless of what we say to this, yes, it is wise, or no, it isn't wise, nobody cares. Technology is going to go ahead. Because like this is happening, like this happened with none of our like brains on that problem. And I still yet yet have to see a technology that's been stopped because some politician or somebody said, no, we have to stop it. So should we have a guardrail? Should we have like safe like ways how to use it and so on? Yes, but I also like my personal belief is that this world, this planet we live on, has infinitely more problems than people to solve them. So even not having enough problems, because this happens in many countries that are well off. I've seen it myself. People just like there's a completely new road that gets built, and then it gets destroyed just so people have something to do with, so they can fix the road again. Like I've seen it happen, like on purpose, like or like whatever, like mindless jobs. So this is a problem just to keep people employed and just to keep them off the streets. So whatever we say, yes or no, it's gonna happen. Now, is it wise? Again, I don't think it can be stopped because there's a lot of interest, a lot of money, and I mean to take it back to our example. I'm not saying for all the industries, but what I can claim is that for our industry, AI is a need to have. I might have said this on our last podcast, but what I mean is the following. So if you in your audience have like a contractor that's maybe a turnkey contractor, maybe they employ architects, engineers, maybe they're the ones who are like they build on a project, they need to design it and develop it until the end. Isn't it in their interest to like cut costs and to have more profit and like have a better performing firm than their competitors and to grow and to keep hiring people and so on? Because, and if yes, then isn't it also in their interest to ensure that the technology used is the most optimal and that can save them money? So what I'm trying to get here is that a lot of people employ architects or engineers that are using outdated technology. And if everybody just used AI in many of their processes, they would realize how amazing it is in some ways and how stupid it is in some ways. So they wouldn't be this afraid to ask the question, to be honest with you. So I know there's a lot to unpack. I'm sorry for the monologue, but yeah.
No, there is. I mean, it gets me thinking about all manner of different types of conversations that we could be having about, the future of income and the future of work and how all of that would go. But that is not the purpose of our show today. So there's one other thing that you're working on that I wanted to bring up, which is NeoStack.
Yes.
You're a co-founder of NeoStack. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Co-founder.
Exactly.
Talk a little bit about what this technology is designed to do for your clients. This is a tech company that you've started.
Yes, it's a tech company. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate you mentioning that. So AI and AEC, so my original firm started out of, I would say maybe even necessity. I was laid off. I was like, let me give this a shot.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't know like if that's gonna like succeed so as much as it did, but here we are. And then like what that firm allowed me to do is have a bunch of conversations with like people that take my courses, people that hire me as a consultant, whatnot. And then I noticed that all of these people have one common problem. Even if you know how AI works, even if you're using it in your daily life, when it comes to making a strategy for your firm, when it comes to implementing it at the firm like a wide scale, I'm talking 100 people, 200 people, 300 people in your firm. When you're talking about implementing it there, you still don't know what to choose. You are like overwhelmed. There's so many choices out there. There's always new this, new that. Yeah. You open LinkedIn, it's oh my God, I can't even, like and you don't know who to trust. You have no idea about any of this.
100%. Yeah. And then we end up just kind of trying to funnel our business. Yes, wasting. And these are the risks, right? Like we waste money on unproven things. Or we just kind of like go with the big four names and call it a day and maybe not get the best technology that we should need. And it sucks. It is a tough environment out there. Same deal for contractors for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So the reason my co-founder, Niknas, she's also from the space, been here in the States for 10 years. And what we decided to build is something called neostack.ai. That's also our website. And it's basically a platform that helps you choose, manage, and adopt technology. Because like as I've said in an example earlier, you might have like, Spotify, Netflix, HBO Max, or whatever subscription in your own life. But you don't know how much they cost. Typically, it's like just something that, takes $10 a month. But you think
totally.
Like, Tinder, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So it's like $10 a month for like, or 10 items per $10 a month. You're like, it's $100, whatever. It doesn't matter. That's much. But what we found when we spoke with companies is that a typical 250-person firm in the AEC in the US wastes $480,000 a year on unused licenses. This means that they would buy 200 Spotify's, or in that case, it can be 200 Revits, 200 Outlook, whatnot, and only maybe like 70% get used, 80% get used. We don't know because nobody's tracking this data. And you're paying a higher and higher bill for software every year. It's taking money from your bottom line. It's taking money from your top line because we still don't know how to price it in our contracts. We only say sell time and materials, but we typically don't count technology as a material. So what we're trying to help companies here with is optimize that, knowing what exactly is being used in your firm, knowing what is a need to have and what is a nice to have. And all of this is going to be launched on October 1st in beta and then February 1st, 2026 in our app. So this is what we're trying to do.
That's awesome, man. Cool. Good for we lead strategic planning sessions with our clients all the time and looking through their, financials, right? And we're working on overhead. We'll take a look at overhead, and then inevitably we end up on this conversation of technology. And every year it's like, damn. That's a lot of money that we're spending on software. And inevitably I will ask, I'm like a guarantee that I'll ask, what can we cut there, guys? Like, there's got to be something that we can trim. And everybody goes, we have no idea. And some companies have undergone the yeoman's work of actually digging into who's using what and pulling that data, through but how are they getting that information? Typically by like looking at last login, and then they're checking that kind of stuff, or they're even like going into departments and being like, raise your hand if you're using such and such. It's a very, very, so if you're able to provide that information at your fingertips and help you to make good decisions about what technology to keep, what to cut, what to add, where we can, and so it'll also help me to shop and say, like, I need these things, and are these things vetted?
Yes, of course.
Wow.
So one of the things that we have is, so first of all, this is not going to be on day one. I also need people to understand that.
Yeah, sure.
October 1st is just a beta MVP, but we do have companies signing up. We have more than 200 companies on our wait list right now, willing to work with us, willing to put money behind all of this, and it's all bootstrapped by myself and Niklas. So
that's great.
Yeah, but when it comes to like choosing technology, this is also one of the things that, like, you might remember. That's why I think that database was the reason you invited me on your first show. So I built this database. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it's still alive. It's still well.
It was like 100 you're going to monetize at the time. So crazy.
Yeah. So for the listeners, maybe who don't know, but Chad and Stacy here invited me on the first show because I've built something over the last 3 years called the AEC AI Hub. And this is, in essence, the world's largest database of AI tools for the AEC industry. There's currently 1,700 tools. I don't know what it was back then. Probably like 100. I don't know. Like very few compared to what it is. Yeah, what it is today. But this is all, again, free on my website, and people can check it. But there's one of the problems with this database is that it's not giving you enough information. It gives you what the tool can do and the website, but it's not. You can't compare tools. You can't read reviews. You can't see unbiased demos. And then typically what happens is that, let's say you get interested in a tool that's like, this is exactly what we've been looking for. But like you book a meeting and then they sell you on something. Then it turns out it's not really that. And then they make offer something else. Then you ask for a feature and they say, we don't have it today. We're going to have it next week.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah.
No, I know all of this because, again, this is who we work for. This is who we're building Neostack for. So this is what we're trying to help. On both ends, because you can also take it from the ends of these vendors, because they have a problem of meeting with a bunch of people who never buy. Because they saw their LinkedIn video, they saw whatever. So it's like wasted resources on both ends. So this is what we're trying to combine within Neostack 2. So our first module launching on October 1st is going to be exactly this. It's called Tool Discovery. It's not a sponsored marketplace. So there's no sponsored content there. So meaning nobody's paying to be shown to you. You're not being bombarded with ads or whatnot. You can really trust that source because this is what we do. Like, this is what I've done in my database. Like, I don't take any money from any of the app vendors to talk about them, like Speckle, like Stackroot. I only talk who I think is the best and can best help you in your situation. So, yeah.
So who is the best in your opinion? Because I know people are probably listening like, just narrow down the top 5 for me.
Yes. So if you join, I'm going to answer it in this way. If you join Discovering AI in AEC, the course it's currently 150 euros, but it's increasing its price in October 2025, so in a month. It's increasing its price to $299. I know it's still discretionary spending, but I'm still trying to, if somebody wants to make like a good deal. That course has a whole list of top 100 apps for AEC. And it's separated, categorized if you're an architect, designer, engineer, construction, contractor, whoever you are. So that's the list I would go to, because like if you ask what's the best, I would just say ChatGPT. But everybody knows this. So people are like,
Right.
what's the best for X? What's the best for Y? It depends what you're asking for. So that's why I think I would say go to that list. It's not 1,700 apps. It's not overwhelming. It's 100 and it's categorized. So you can pretty much figure it out. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Very good. Well, good. Stacey, got anything else for Stjepan?
How are you staying on top of all this stuff? It's exhausting.
ChatGPT. You're doing it.
Oh yeah, it helps a lot. I mean, it also helps. Like I told you, I have 3 employees now, so I outsourced a lot of my work.
You have a lot of help now. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 employee is in the Philippines, 1 employee is in Nigeria, and 1 is in Serbia, and I'm in LA. So 4 employees in total, including myself, on 4 continents.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is the business of the future, guys. I'm telling you, like this is amazing. Yeah.
I have got some good friends that have similar sounding workforces and things like that. Though I will tell you, my friend, you're bridging into being a tech company instead of being a tech critic. That is a very different game. You know, it'll make you a better tech critic. It should be fun.
Yeah,
it should be fun. I think it'll help you to be even better as you build out your own tech business, right? And learn from some of those bumps and bruises. Is it code or is it AI? The tech your website, the
both. I mean,
NeoStack.
Anybody that tells you that AI is the selling point, AI is just a feature. So your product should be great regardless of AI.
Great
or not.
Code.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, AI
great
is just
code with AI overlay.
And may I just say one more thing? I really want to share this, man. So
Go ahead,
a lot of
buddy.
people have seen, for example, platforms like Lovable or Blink.new. Those are the vibe coding platforms. Have you seen that? No? Okay, so go check it out, lovable.dev. It's a platform where you can build your own apps, literally through human language. Okay? So you can just say, I want an RFI platform that like takes and you can build it for yourself. You don't have to hire a person. You don't have to hire a company. You just need to invite Stjepan on your podcast, and there you go. So
that's awesome.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that these platforms are amazing until some point, because as you know from ChatGPT, AI answers have a lot of fluff to add it to them. So you're gonna get an answer, but maybe you're gonna use 20% of it, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe 10% of it. And it's the same with these platforms. So you can build something, but there's like, for example, we built something internally for my firm, and then we got for like a simple tool that took like, I don't know, some timesheets and converted them to something else. It had like 500,000 lines of code. And in essence, a senior developer would do this in like 500 lines of code. So that's the difference, because there's a lot of fluff that doesn't do anything. So that's both the amazing thing and the downfall. So what you can do is, I typically say with these platforms, you can prototype, but can you really build stuff yet? Not really. But that's what I wanted to say. Sorry. Yeah.
No, that's great. And I also agree, at least at this phase. And I kind of hope we never leave this phase for the sake of our economy and the way that I sleep at night. But at least in this phase, it's not really replacing jobs. It is augmenting work, and it's extremely helpful in our current phase in augmenting work. And man, I'm a progress person. I'm a huge believer in progress and advancement and things along those lines. So my natural tendency is definitely not to be afraid of this type of stuff. But this one is different. This one is different, and it's one that for the first time I'm looking at and kind of going like, what are the guardrails? But keep out there making it happen. Keep helping the industry to find a way to embrace it, and we appreciate having you on, and we'll certainly do so again in the future if you'll join us.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for the invitation. You guys have maybe marked the start of my career. This was just like probably a couple of months before I became independent. So thank you for that. Thank you for recognizing, and thank you for what you do. Like, it's also not easy to set all of these up, all these calls, organize things, help people. I really like kudos to you guys, to both of you. I think this is like, I know it goes from your heart to the industry, so I really appreciate that. And I think you're doing an amazing job with all of these new platforms, invitations, events. And I hope to meet you again in a couple of years then. Like, it was been 2 years since our last meeting, so maybe 2 years more. We'll see.
Well, I'll keep my eyes open for that course, buddy. I look forward to
Yes,
it.
yes.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
invite you.
looking
No,
forward to
don't
all
worry
your
about it.
stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Great.
much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, guys.
Talk
See you.
soon.
Bye.
Thank you.
Well, Stace, as always, I come away from these conversations smarter. That was a fantastic discussion, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It was so good to catch up. So we have the rest of the season planned up until November here.
We've got some awesome highlights. Yeah, we're gonna be running the fall season hot and heavy all the way up through Thanksgiving week or the week before, something along those lines.
Yes. And next week we're talking about how do you know if you're bleeding cash flow in the construction company, in your construction company with
Yeah.
Aaron Mills.
Yep.
And we have a lot of GCs on this season, some big heavy hitters like Skanska and HIT and Donahoe. So I'm really excited to have them on too, to share tons of different topics that we have covered. We're trying to do different things all the time. Things are changing so much.
I think this year I think we've got, or this fall that is, I think we've got probably the most diverse lineup we've had in terms of this combination of service providers and general contractors and some trade contractors coming from, and people coming from tech and people coming from finance. And, it should be a lot of really fun content. Thank you as always, Stacey, for knowing who's who out there and helping to make all these things happen. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And we appreciate that effort. And I also wanted to thank today's sponsor of our show, which is Genesis AEC, design, build, really soup to nuts construction management group that specializes in the technology space, really, in like the biotech and life sciences and that kind of stuff. So we appreciate their support. And Stacey, I think that's all we have for today.
That's all we got.
All right. Awesome. We'll see you next week.
All right. See you next time.
Talk soon.